Post-traumatic disorder symptoms. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. An overview. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is a mental health condition that arises after an individual experiences or witnesses a traumatic event. These events can range from natural disasters and serious accidents to violent personal assaults, military combat, and other life-threatening situations. PTSD is characterized by a variety of symptoms that can significantly impair daily functioning and quality of life. Prevalence and impact. The prevalence of PTSD varies across different populations. According to the National Center for PTSD, approximately 7 to 8% of the U.S. population will experience PTSD at some point in their lives. The disorder is more common among certain groups, such as military veterans, first responders, and survivors of assault. The impact of PTSD extends beyond the individual, affecting families, workplaces, and communities. Importance of understanding symptoms. Understanding the symptoms of PTSD is crucial for several reasons. Firstly, it aids in the early identification and diagnosis of the disorder, allowing individuals to seek timely and appropriate treatment. Secondly, it helps to reduce the stigma associated with PTSD by fostering awareness and empathy. Finally, knowledge of PTSD symptoms is essential for developing effective interventions and support systems. Symptoms of PTSD. PTSD symptoms are generally grouped into 4 categories: intrusive memories, avoidance, negative changes in thinking and mood, and changes in physical and emotional reactions. These symptoms can vary in intensity and duration, and they may manifest differently from person to person. Intrusive memories. Intrusive memories are one of the hallmark symptoms of PTSD. These include flashbacks, vivid and distressing recollections of the traumatic event, which can make the individual feel as though they are reliving the experience. Flashbacks can be triggered by reminders of the trauma or can occur spontaneously. Disturbing dreams, nightmares related to the traumatic event are common in individuals with PTSD. These dreams can be so intense that they disrupt sleep and cause significant distress. Intrusive thoughts, persistent and unwanted thoughts about the traumatic event can invade the individual's mind, causing anxiety and distress. Avoidance. Avoidance behaviors are another key symptom of PTSD. These behaviors include avoiding reminders of the trauma. Individuals with PTSD may go out of their way to avoid places, activities, or people that remind them of the traumatic event. This can severely limit their daily functioning and interactions. Avoiding talking or thinking about the trauma. Many individuals with PTSD try to suppress memories of the trauma, avoiding conversations or thoughts about the event. Negative changes in thinking and mood. PTSD often involves significant changes in cognition and mood. These changes include negative beliefs about oneself or others. Individuals with PTSD may develop distorted beliefs about themselves, such as feeling worthless or believing that the world is entirely dangerous. Distorted feelings of guilt or blame. People with PTSD often feel excessive guilt or blame themselves for the traumatic event, even when they were not at fault. Loss of interest in activities. PTSD can lead to a diminished interest in activities that were once enjoyable, contributing to feelings of detachment and isolation. Changes in physical and emotional reactions. Changes in physical and emotional reactions are also common in PTSD. These changes include being easily startled or frightened. Hypervigilance, or being constantly on guard, is a frequent symptom of PTSD. Individuals may be easily startled by noises or sudden movements. Hypervigilance, constantly scanning the environment for potential threats, is a typical behavior in PTSD, leading to a state of heightened alertness. Trouble sleeping, insomnia and other sleep disturbances are common in PTSD, often exacerbated by nightmares and hyperarousal. Irritability and angry outbursts. Individuals with PTSD may experience increased irritability, anger, and even aggression, which can strain relationships and lead to social isolation. Detailed analysis of symptoms. Intrusive memories. The phenomenon of intrusive memories in PTSD is complex and multifaceted. Flashbacks, for example, are more than just vivid recollections, they are re-experiences that can be as intense as the original trauma. Research suggests that these intrusive memories are linked to the way traumatic events are processed and stored in the brain. Unlike normal memories, which are integrated into the larger narrative of one's life, traumatic memories are often fragmented and disjointed. This fragmentation can cause them to resurface in the form of flashbacks or distressing dreams. Mechanisms behind flashbacks in dreams. Flashbacks and nightmares are believed to arise from the brain's attempt to process and make sense of the traumatic event. The amygdala, a brain region involved in emotion and memory, becomes overactive during traumatic experiences. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for regulating emotions and controlling impulses, becomes underactive. This imbalance may lead to the formation of intense, sensory-rich memories that can intrude into consciousness. Case studies and examples. Consider the case of a combat veteran who experiences flashbacks of a battlefield encounter. During a flashback, he may see, hear, and even smell the events as if they were happening in the present moment. These episodes can be triggered by anything reminiscent of the trauma, such as loud noises or specific smells. Similarly, a survivor of a car accident might have recurring nightmares about the crash, waking up in a state of panic and fear. Avoidance. Avoidance behaviors are a coping mechanism aimed at reducing distress. While they might provide short-term relief, they often lead to long-term difficulties. Avoidance can prevent individuals from processing the traumatic event and integrating it into their life narrative, which is crucial for recovery. Psychological impact of avoidance behaviors. Avoidance can lead to a restricted life, where the individual is constantly on the lookout for potential triggers. This hyper-focus on avoiding reminders of the trauma can exacerbate feelings of isolation and detachment. Moreover, avoidance can interfere with treatment, as individuals may be reluctant to discuss their trauma or engage in therapeutic activities. Long-term consequences. Over time, avoidance behaviors can lead to the development of additional mental health issues, such as depression and anxiety. The constant effort to avoid triggers can be exhausting and can contribute to feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. It can also impact relationships, as loved ones may feel shut out or unable to provide support. Negative changes in thinking and mood. Cognitive and mood changes are central to PTSD. These symptoms reflect the deep psychological impact of trauma and can profoundly affect an individual's worldview and self-perception. Cognitive distortions and their effects. Trauma can lead to cognitive distortions, such as overgeneralization, believing that all similar situations are dangerous, and personalization, blaming oneself for the trauma. These distorted thoughts can contribute to negative emotions, such as guilt, shame, and hopelessness. For example, a sexual assault survivor might believe that they are fundamentally damaged or that they somehow caused the assault, leading to intense feelings of shame and self-blame. Treatment approaches. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is one of the most effective treatments for addressing cognitive distortions in PTSD. CBT helps individuals identify and challenge their distorted thoughts and develop healthier, more accurate ways of thinking. Techniques such as cognitive restructuring and exposure therapy can help individuals process their trauma and reduce the intensity of their negative emotions. Changes in physical and emotional reactions. Physical and emotional changes are common in PTSD and reflect the body's response to trauma. These changes can be persistent and can interfere with daily functioning. Biological responses to trauma. The body's response to trauma involves the activation of the fight or flight response, which prepares the individual to face or escape danger. This response is mediated by the release of stress hormones, such as adrenaline and cortisol. In individuals with PTSD, the fight or flight response can become chronically activated, leading to hyperarousal and heightened vigilance. Strategies for managing hyperarousal. There are several strategies for managing hyperarousal in PTSD. These include relaxation techniques, such as deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation, which can help calm the nervous system. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and yoga, can also be effective in reducing arousal and promoting a sense of calm. Additionally, medications such as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, can help regulate the stress response and reduce symptoms of hyperarousal. Comorbid conditions. PTSD often co-occurs with other mental health conditions, which can complicate the diagnosis and treatment process. Common comorbid conditions include depression. Many individuals with PTSD also experience symptoms of depression, such as persistent sadness, loss of interest in activities, and feelings of hopelessness. Anxiety disorders such as generalized anxiety disorder and panic disorder frequently co-occur with PTSD, exacerbating symptoms and impacting functioning. Substance abuse is common among individuals with PTSD, as they may use alcohol or drugs to cope with their symptoms. Physical health issues. PTSD is associated with a range of physical health problems, including chronic pain, cardiovascular disease, and gastrointestinal issues. Impact on daily life. The symptoms of PTSD can have a profound impact on various aspects of daily life, including personal relationships. PTSD can strain relationships with family and friends, as individuals may become withdrawn, irritable, or emotionally numb. Work and productivity. Symptoms such as difficulty concentrating, memory problems, and absenteeism can affect job performance and productivity. Social activities. Avoidance behaviors and hypervigilance can lead to social isolation and a reduction in enjoyable activities. Treatment and management. Effective treatment for PTSD typically involves a combination of therapy, medication, and self-help strategies. Key approaches include therapies. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT is a widely used therapy for PTSD that focuses on changing negative thought patterns and behaviors. Techniques such as cognitive restructuring and exposure therapy are commonly used. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR. EMDR is a specialized therapy that involves recalling traumatic memories while engaging in bilateral stimulation, e.g., moving the eyes back and forth. This process is believed to help reprocess traumatic memories and reduce their emotional impact. Medications. SSRIs and SNRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, and serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, SNRIs, are commonly prescribed to help manage PTSD symptoms, such as depression and anxiety. Other medications, such as prazosin, may be used to reduce nightmares and improve sleep. Self-help strategies. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Mindfulness practices, such as meditation and yoga, can help reduce symptoms of hyperarousal and promote relaxation. Support groups. Support groups provide a safe space for individuals with PTSD to share their experiences and receive support from others who understand what they are going through. Current research and future directions. Research into PTSD is ongoing, with new insights and treatment approaches continually emerging. Key areas of focus include advances in understanding PTSD. Research is shedding light on the neurobiological mechanisms underlying PTSD, which may lead to more targeted treatments. New treatment modalities. Innovative therapies, such as virtual reality exposure therapy and pharmacological interventions, are being explored as potential treatments for PTSD. Areas needing further research. More research is needed to understand the long-term effects of PTSD and to develop effective interventions for different populations, such as children and adolescents. Conclusion. PTSD is a complex and challenging disorder that affects millions of individuals worldwide. Understanding the symptoms of PTSD is crucial for early identification and effective treatment. By recognizing the diverse ways in which PTSD can manifest, we can better support those affected and help them on their journey to recovery. While PTSD can have a profound impact on an individual's life, effective treatment and support can lead to significant improvements in quality of life and overall well-being. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Ni655 family. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the content, and make sure to click the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more awesome videos.